Hi, I'm Sarah Franzak. I'm an environmental management educator with Michigan State University Extension. This is the part 2 of the training to use SAIS, or the Sensitive Area Identification System. In this video, we're going to go through the reports that SAIS creates. When you click to look at your report, this is the page that comes up. At the top, you're going to get this location summary, so you can see the county that it's in, even the township, how many acres that I selected. It also highlights the watershed that property is in. Next, you'll see identified risks. So any kind of risks that may have cropped up either with my management system or with the type of soil and the elevation of that field. So the next one is the Michigan Phosphorus Risk Assessment. So this tells me what my score is. So it looks like my assessed value is 26, which is high, and different kinds of management can change this number. The Manure Application Risk Index, so that's assessed as 0, so a very low. So depending on how that manure is managed, you can also change this number. Hydrologic soil group breakdown. This tells me what my soils are and how they fit into these groups, and explains what each group is. Next is a section of recommended practices. So remember, my risks are up here at the top, identified risks. All of these practices help with those identified risks, and the highlighted ones can help address multiple risks. At the bottom, you'll find information for my nearest service center in case you're looking for NRCS to apply some of these recommended practices. You could print out this report and take it with you, or email it to NRCS. And the next section is a set of field maps. So the first map is just basic satellite imagery of the field. The following map is a Surgo soil map. So each of these colors represents a soil unit. So you can see that this bright green color is Hillsdale Riddles, and that's what most of this field is. The next is the USGS topographic map. So here's the field with the orange outline, and you can see that this map is old because there's orchard. These maps were created quite some time ago. The next map is the sediment delivery to streams. I think this one's really interesting. It shows the amount of sediment in tons per acre per year that you could expect to lose from that field in these areas based on your current management system. The next map is sheet and rill erosion. So this map gives you an idea of where you're getting erosion in tons per acre per year. So I find that this is pretty typical of my experience in this field, and I think that you'll find that too. The next map is concentrated flow. You can see that where this concentrated flow is really similar to where this grassed waterway was installed, but that it's a little bit off from what is expected. Sometimes the places that you realize in real life when you go out and you survey it, that a grassed waterway should go, isn't necessarily the place that this mapping system, because it's remote, is going to come up with where a grassed waterway should go. So I point this out to say, use this as a suggestion for changes, and not as a rule. And being out there on the field in real life and doing an in-person survey is much better than drawing or preparing a plan from these maps. The next map is nitrate leaching risk. So you can see that it's usually based on soil type. So this soil type is a medium risk for nitrate leaching. Wind erosion sensitivity. So you saw in the last map that there's this little piece of sand over here on this hill that's of high nitrate leaching, and you can also see it over here. There's a very high risk of losing this soil by wind. The next section is called practice descriptions. So way up in the top, it gave you a list of practices that might be helpful on your farm. This section gives you a list, gives those same practices, but gives you more detailed descriptions of what they might look like. The next section gives you a summary of your answers to questions. So if you go through this and you say, this doesn't seem quite right, you can look at your answers to your questions and see if maybe you entered something incorrectly and you need to go back and change that and do this process again. That's the end of your SAIS report. You can go to print version, and it will load a PDF version of the same thing, and then you can print it out or open it in Acrobat or download it, any of these ways to preserve this report. So when I go back to the map, or when I open SAIS again and I log in and I want to pull up that report again, I can go to Menu, and you'll see it right here, Previous Reports in this session, Report 1. So in this session, so it holds my report for this one session. If I end my session, that report won't be there anymore. So let me show you. I'm going to log out. That ended my session. I'm going to log in. So I'm logged back in, and it says View Saved Reports. So I can view this report, the same report. Or I can go to Menu, and you'll see that it's gone over here. I can't view it in the same place I did before. I can also go to this button to save saved reports. So that is a summary of how to view reports in SAIS. I hope that's helpful, and thanks for looking at these trainings.